Hi, welcome to Wargame Realm. In this and few following videos I'll be unboxing, assembling and painting miniatures from recently updated Imperial Guard regiment. Of course I'm talking about the Dev Korps of Krieg, previously only available through Forge World with very expensive resin sets, followed few years ago by a Kill Team Veteran Guardsman box that contained 10 Kriegsmen, and now the whole range refreshed with the starter set and few other releases. Box is mostly focused on the cavalry side, not the infantry, so we have one named character, Lord Marshal Dreyer, 10 Death Riders, 1 artillery team, and 5 Krieg engineers, also codex, cards and everything like that. As usual with the limited starter boxes, we have beautiful artwork on the inner part of the box. And on the backside we have Krieg writing with a nice Corpsman in the gas mask. So let's open it up. Inside we find a lot of plastic, despite of it being not that many models as you'd expect from that type of box. Like, we have a lot of big miniatures. Here are engineers, Dreyer, I think the cavalry, the Death Riders. After that we have the artillery team and the plain Warhammer divider to keep the other stuff safe. That's the codex, cards and instructions neatly packaged in the special binder. And here we've got bases, 130mm for the artillery, the Dreyer base, the 10 Death Rider bases, and besides that we have a packaged bases for the Krieg engineers, and a decal sheets for the Krieg army. Okay, let's move the packaging aside and take a closer look at the contents of the box. Let's skip the bases, those are standard Citadel bases. Transfer sheet, we've got black and white numbers, regiment numbers, eagles, tank details, some kind of regiment markings for tanks, minefield warning signs. Very nice stuff. You get it in every box, so yeah, so that's common. Here is the artillery team frame. That's the undercarriage part. It's nice that you can assemble this part and keep it separate from the main gun. Thanks to that, you don't need to commit to a one weapon. You can switch them between games, and it doesn't require any magnets. Each gun have 3 crew members, which can be assembled in generic way. Then there are 2 rows of sandbags for the base in front of the gun. And I think my favorite detail for the crew members is the sighting periscope. Next we get 2 identical sets of 3 sprues for the Death Riders. From each you can build up to 5 miniatures. You have all weapon options, but it doesn't matter since in rules they are all equipped with las carabines, frag lances and power sabers, so it's up to you what you put on your mini. I prefer to give them las carabines and sabers and maybe one guy with a lance with a banner. It gives them more of a modern look than with the lances. Details in those minis are amazing. Also the interchangeability of parts, because you build main body of the horses and you can switch heads and the breastplates between them. So despite having the same sets of 5 riders, you can make every guy different. So even probably you could make 20 of them with different weapons, different combination of horse and rider, and that would look good on the tabletop. And again, I'm still amazed by the level of detail of each individual horse. Now let's get to the Marshal Dreyer. As its named character, you don't have many customization options. You can either make him with a saber or a las pistol. You get a big terrain piece for underneath him with barbed wire, minefield signs, everything that Kriegsmen should like. And lastly, we've got 5 combat engineers with remotely controlled demolition tank. Each guy is armed either with shotgun or close combat weapon and pistol. One can replace it for the flamer. Sergeant have options both for pistol and close combat weapon. Very nice models with a bit heavier armor than normal Kriegsmen, and they have the iconic skull masks. And in the end, we've got codex, instructions, and cards. Limited cover art of the codex with old Krieg artwork. Cards with Attilan Rough Rider and the Tempestus Scions on the box. And the instructions. Okay, so in instructions we start from the Marshal Dryer. As said before, he has an option to be armed with either saber or las pistol. I will be probably choosing the second one. Next we've got combat engineers with their sergeant on the first page and the rest of the guys coming along further. Here's the remote control demolition tank. To be honest, I preferred the Forge World one that looked more like German Goliath. But well, this is more futuristic and it's still nice. Here are the assembled painted engineers. And we go to the Death Riders. I think that's one of my favorite poses. It's very dynamic, like mid-thrust. And here we've got the artillery team. As mentioned, first you assemble the undercarriage and then you have the separate gun options that you can swap. Now to the cards. So Astra Militarum has a lot of data sheets, so there's two stacks of cards. It is the same stuff that you get in the codex, just in more handy form for the game. You don't get like points in there, but all the stats are here. Points usually are changing during the edition, but stats mainly stay similar. It's very useful, like, to have your roster in front of you, not just going through the codex every time you need to check something. New command squad. Let's put them back in and get to the codex. Standard first pages for the 40k codexes. Nothing new. As usual, fluff at the beginning, a bit about main characters. Here we've got Solar Leontis, Ursula Creed, what happened during Era Indomitus. Again, old artwork. Here we start from the Krieg in this edition in regiments. They are the main focus. A lot of Krieg fluff for the Guard Codex. Then the main guy in Scadia, Valhallan, Katachan, Mordian, Talarn, a bit more about Armageddon Steel Legion, war gear descriptions, a bit more on the specific tanks and vehicles. Now we get to the showcase with nice examples of painted miniatures. A bit of command stuff, Kriegsmen, Scions, tanks. And we get to the nice example of combined arms. We have Krieg, we have Cadian armor, we have Attilan Rough Riders, a nice mix of new miniatures. Then the combat patrol rules. To be honest, I'm not that happy with that box. It's a weird choice of miniatures. I prefer the old one. Some painting tips, datasheets for the combat patrol, and the whole section of Forces of Astra Militarum, the orders, here we've got the generic rules that represent different regiments, so Cadians, Krieg, probably Steel Legion, generic armored company, Katachans, and that's it. Some sample armies. I like the Commissar tank idea. And long list of datasheets. That's a nice addition. Pictures of weapons that would help you to recognize them when you assemble your miniatures. Crusade rules, so basically same as every other codex. Point values that are not up to date. The current ones are on Games Workshop page. So that is it for the contents of the box. Now let's switch to the assembled miniatures. I had a second starter set that I bought when it was released. I already assembled it and started painting with additional 5 engineers and artillery team. So let's check them out after assembly and start of the painting. So Marshal Dreyer assembled with the last pistol pointing. Very nicely detailed mini with maybe not a dynamic pose, but in my opinion it fits the Marshal of the Guard that is leading his troops from the front. Yeah, I started painting him and Death Riders from the horses with some light brown, dark beige color for the base coat. Yeah, and I will proceed from that. Here we've got the bannerman and the normal one. I assembled all of them with the sabers and carabines, as said before. Bases are done using some balsa wood and 3D printed parts from Epic Basing. I use them a lot, and probably there will be more of that in future in my tutorials how to make bases, since this is the amazing source of parts. Here is my favorite pose, the dynamic one, charging and slashing with his saber. More last carabines. And the last guys. The charging one, and I think the sergeant. Now let's check the combat engineers. 10 guys, sergeant with power weapon, hand flamer, special weapon also flamer. I think it fits the trench fighter's role. Not sure about the rules, but yeah, it fitted for me. All of them with shotguns. And here we've got the remote controlled demolition tank. And lastly, we get to the 2 artillery teams. They are not glued to the bases, so I can paint them. Bases are upgraded with the epic basing bits. For sure, I will prepare a tutorial how to craft this type of bases. Now, as said before, these guns, like, you assemble the undercarriage and then you can put any weapon you want, just pushing it in. You don't need any magnets, you have 3 crewmen per gun. Currently I've put in the multiple rocket launcher. I will put it away and show you other guns. The heavy mortar and the siege cannon share one part, but still you can assemble them without magnets and push fit the siege cannon longer barrel or the short barrel for the heavy mortar. So still you can easily change them. And the last weapon option is the heavy quad launcher. Okay, so this is it from the box. In the further videos I will show the rest of the Krieg releases, and I will try to start to make more tutorial videos, how to make bases, how to paint those miniatures. So thank you for watching, and see you in the next video.